Hello everyone and welcome to Sewing Saturdays. My name is Gina and today I'm just going to go back to the project that we did last week. We did this little ballerina bag, but I didn't end up showing you guys the finished project because I just show you how to finish and then you guys really just saw it in pictures. But I just want to kind of show you what it really looks like. So that's the bag. So this week we're going to be doing a fanny pack. I had a few requests for a fanny pack. So it's not the traditional fanny pack that you see out there. This is slightly bigger, as you see. And I made a few changes, and also I actually attached some parts here that you can also use this as kind of a crossbody bag. So you can add the straps here, one there, and then you can use it on the side like that. So the way it works that I have here, you would be attaching this through your belt, or you can make a belt to put through it, and you close it through here, through the snaps. And the back has a big pocket here that you can keep things. Then it has the main pocket here on the I added another little pocket here, but you can add more pockets. I just added one. And then in the front, the way it looks, this opens here, and there's a snap here, you open, and there's a couple credit card slots here that you can put your credit cards, or those cards that normally when you go to stores and they give you cards for points and stuff, so you can definitely do it there. And then has another pocket here in the front that you can also put your phone, anything that you would like. So that one also has a snap, so you can keep it closed, so whatever's in there can stay put. So this has quite a few pieces, so I suggest you get a pen and pencil. I know a lot of you ask me for written patterns. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do written patterns. I have a small store, and the sales of the fabrics, it's what makes these videos possible. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to make these videos. And by you liking the videos and sharing and making the channel grow, maybe one day I'll have more time that I can actually dedicate more to the projects and actually write the patterns. But at this time, it's only going to be on video and only going to be measurements, and you guys can write it down and make the project. Okay, so let's get started with the pieces. So I will be providing you a template, something like this. So this is half of my bag, so you're going to use that as on a fold. And then I have some measurements that I wrote here on the side that I did. So we're going to get started with the main body of the bag. Okay, let's all into sections. So if you guys have pen and pencil, we can start with our main of the body, the bag, so meaning the outside of our bag. And what we have here, I have 4 pieces, 2 for lining and 2 for the body of the bag. And in this case, I picked these butterflies. This is fabrics from Camelot that just came in to the store this week, and they're really pretty, so I decided to use them for this bag. So the pieces that I have here, they are 9 inches by 11. Okay, so I have 11 this way and 9 this way. And what I did is I rounded my sides. I use a creative grid ruler, and I actually just rounded the sides. But you don't have to worry about that, because I will supply you with the outside shape, so you can start with this already. You can print this and start with that shape already. So if you don't have the ruler, you don't have to worry about it. So again, our main body would be, you got 4 pieces, 2 for linings, 2 for the outside, and it's 11 by 9. Okay, then we're gonna need a zipper, and our zipper has to be 2 inches shorter. So if I have here 11, then this would be 9. Okay, so the zipper would be 9. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna create little tabs for our zipper. And our tabs is about a 2.5 inch little piece of fabric. What I did, fold it in half, fold in half, fold in half, and it's like that. And I'm gonna sew one in each side of my zipper. Okay, you're gonna do it that way. Okay, and this is our outside. Okay, then as you see, if I open this up, there's a pocket in here that has the credit card slots. And for that, I already have my pieces here. Okay, I picked this blue for the credit card slots that I have here. And the piece that I cut here is 23 by 5, so will be at 23 inches long. Okay, 23 inches long, and it's 5 wide. Then we're gonna do like we did her last project. We're gonna do like the folding. And my 2 weeks ago I did a video on a little clutch, a wallet clutch, and I show you guys the measurements, how to fold this to create the slots. Okay, and in this case here I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what I have here. So when you have your fabric folded like this, okay, you should end up with 5 inches by 6.5. That's what we need. But I wouldn't worry about it if it's slightly shorter, if it's slightly longer, because we can trim it later. Okay, then we need fabric for the sides because we need to extend this. And the pieces that I have here is, it's 5 inches, it's 4 inches and by 6.5, because it has to fit exactly on the side of the credit card right here, and one for here. And then again, we're going to be trimming this off. This is just bigger measurements, and then one we're going to have to put it on top and cut the shape of our bag. Okay, then we need a piece for lining, and the lining that I have here is by 8. I have 11 by 8. Okay, so because what I did it slightly longer than 6.5 because I have a little lip folded here, so it looks kind of nicer. All right, so that part is done. Then we need for this outside pocket these 3 pieces that we have here with the zippers. So, and for that part, your measurements are, let me just grab them. So I'm going to need 2 pieces, okay, one lining and one main fabric, and that's going to be this one right here, the middle one that I have. And the measurement for that is 7.5 by 5, so 5 this way and 7.5 down. Again, this is just bigger measurements. We might have to trim it a little bit. While we sew it, I will show you when we need to trim it. That's the middle part. And then for the sides here, I have 4 inches. Okay, and it's slightly shorter. It's by 6. Because as you see, the middle part is slightly bigger than this side. And we also going to need lining, the same measurements that I just told you. Okay, so you're going to need the middle part, one fabric, and interface it with SF101 spell-on product, and also the sides is interfaced with SF101, only the outside fabric, and we're gonna need one main, one lining. All right, and that's our outside piece. And we also gonna need 2 zippers, as you see here. You see here my zippers is slightly bigger. We're gonna cut them down. So what I have here, it's about an 8-inch zipper, so I have 2 of them, but you can probably go maybe a 7-inch. If it's all you have, 7-inch will work. All right, so and that's for that part. I decided that on this one that I'm making here, I'm actually gonna add a pocket here on the inside here. So in that pocket I already did, so it would be a 5 inches, the same as your main piece here. And then the length I'm just gonna decide how long I want it as soon as I'm ready to attach it to the zipper. All right, so that's done. So now we have our back. For the back, I have a pocket here, and it would be 11 because it would be the same size as the bag here. And the length here that I have here, it's 6 inches. That's what I cut here. And I have, again, main fabric, lining, and I interface my main fabric with SF101, okay? Pellon product. Then I have a zipper, and it's slightly bigger. I would say a 12-inch would work because it has to be bigger than 11. And then for the top of my zipper, what I have here, I have a long strip that I created. It was a 3-inch strip that I folded half and half, and I'm going to be sewing that on the other side of the zipper to attach to the bag. Okay, so and that's it for the back pocket. Okay, then we have this part here that folds. Okay, and that part there, the measurements that I have is a 7 by 7 square. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sew all the way around, leave an opening and turn it to the right side and do a top stitch and leave it ready that way. Then of course, as you see, there's little tabs because I want to have an option that you can actually use it as almost like a crossbody purse. So I have my little tabs here, and this is a 3-inch, about 3.5-inch strip, okay, and I would say it's by 3 inches length. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold a little bit in, as you see here, in each side, and fold in the middle, and then fold, fold, and fold, and get some D-rings, 2 D-rings, and you're going to put it through there. You're going to sew it first, of course, sew it all the way around, and then we're going to put that to the side to attach in the end to the bag. Okay, the strap, I am going to make a strap. I didn't make it on this one. I ran out of hardware, so I left the rest of the hardware just to use on this one that I'm showing you. And the strap that I have here, the one that I have here, it's not adjustable, but you can make it bigger. You can sew 2 strips of fabric and make it adjustable. In my case here, I sew about about a 4-inch strip, then I fold it in half, and I fold it again, just like we did with the tabs. Okay, and you can make this wider, whatever width you want. Just make sure it's according to your hardware, because some hardware is smaller, some is bigger. Sometimes a bigger one you would need a wider strap, a smaller one you would need a narrow strap. Okay, so I think I gave you all the measurements. So now we're gonna start sewing. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side, and we're still gonna leave it here so we can kind of go reference it, because it has a lot of pieces, so it can get kind of overwhelming. So take your time. So we're gonna start with our main body. So I'm gonna bring those pieces back out. Okay, and so what I have here is lining and main fabric. My main fabric, I interfaced this with Pellon SF101. All right, and I think I told you these pieces was 11 by 9, but I think it's actually 8.5. You can do by 9 if you would like. It doesn't really make a difference. It just ends up slightly taller, that's all. But all the other measurements will still work. So I will write the measurements on this anyway when you cut it, so you'll have the right measurement anyway. So it's not going to make much of a difference. All right. So we're going to start with this, and the first thing you got to do is sew your tabs. As soon as you sew your tabs, we're going to find the middle. Okay. You can clip it a little bit, and then you're going to find the middle of your zipper. Okay, make sure you find right the middle of your zipper. So I'm gonna, zippers I don't like clipping because it's like a knit, and if you clip it sometimes it starts fraying and you don't want your project to fall apart. Okay, so then this is my middle. So what I'm gonna do, middle with middle, I'm gonna sew, and so I should end up with 1 inch this side and 1 inch this side. That's a fabric. All right, then I'm gonna sew that in. I'm gonna get my lining. I'm gonna put it on top, and I'm gonna sew it right to the end. All right, so here you're just sewing the zipper, then this goes all the way to the end. You're gonna do to that, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I sew that side of the zipper. As you see, when I add the little tabs, I trim them off to the same size of the zipper, and then I just sandwich my zipper in between my fabric and sew that on. So now I have to do the same thing to this side. So again, find your middle. You always want to find that middle and make sure it's even. And find the middle to the zipper, and we're going to do the same thing. Alright, so right sides together. Alright, in this case you already kind of have a guide because your fabrics should actually match here the sides, so you can just put the zipper on top. Then you're gonna go ahead and do your lining again, right sides together, and sew that across. When you're done that, okay, you're gonna, let me just put a couple pins here just to show you. And we're gonna do a top stitch around the zipper side. So after this is all done here, all right, so we end up with something like this, lining to one side like this, and we're gonna go ahead and top stitch both sides. All right, and then this side is done. So we have to start now preparing this pocket on the inside here. This one here with the credit cards. So let me just bring the pieces that I have the credit cards here. It's here. So, and like I said, the pieces that I had here for the credit cards is at 23 by 5 inches, and I folded into slots. And if you had never done that, you can always use a card for reference. You can definitely watch my video on the other one that shows you all the proper measurements to fold. But if you don't want to go back there, the only thing I suggest is this first one here, as you see, it's slightly wider. And what I did is I did about 1/2 inch fold. Then I put the credit card there, right on top of my fabric, as you see. Let me put it on top of this so you can see better, because black on black can be kind of hard to see. So I put my card there, just touching the top of the 1/2 inch, and I went ahead, brought my fabric up, and I all the way up, okay, all the way like that, okay. Then I iron it here, okay. Then I got the card out, then I went down and I kind of gave her about 1/2 inch distance, and I folded down. Then I would go again, put that there again on top of my fabric, right on top of my fold that I have there, and again I would move my fabric up, okay, fabric up again, and iron it there. As you see, I have a couple SF101 little pieces here just to make the credit cards a little thicker. You can interface the whole piece, but when I cut mine, I forgot. I had done all my folds and I completely forgot to put the interfacing, so I just end up adding little pieces where it needed the fold. And you can also do that, okay? Or just interface the whole piece, will be a lot easier. All right? So it's like that, okay? And you're gonna keep folding. Then you'll bring another one, put again on top, right on top, and iron it down, okay. And then the side where you want to fold, because you want to see a little bit of the credit card to be easy to take it out, and you're going to keep doing that way. Or just follow the measurements that I did on the clutch. I give you actually measurements. exactly how to fold your piece. Okay, so mine is done. So what I'm gonna do here, you can do a seam on these here if you want. I didn't do on mine, I'm gonna leave it. And I'm just gonna bring my two sides, and as you see, I don't have any interfacing on this. I don't want any interfacing yet, okay? Because I don't want to add too much bulk here to the side. I want to leave it kind of a little bit more, because here we're gonna have a lot of layers, and I don't want to have a lot of layers here on the side, so I didn't interface it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sew that to that side, and go ahead and sew this to this side. Okay, when I'm done sewing, I'm gonna iron it like this, and I'm gonna do a top stitch here and a top stitch here. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead, I finished my zipper and I top stitch, and I did the side of the pocket right here. So I attached the two sides. Now we need to attach back to our pocket, our lining. And as you see, I had, this was 11, it's slightly longer, and as you see, our pockets here, this is bigger than what we have here. So what I want you to do is, you're gonna fold this in half, you're gonna put your pocket right in half, and gonna put a pin here, my middle. Ooh. Okay, put a pin, so I know that's my middle, and this is my middle. I'm gonna crease it. Okay, so we're gonna put right sides together. Okay, and you're gonna sew a seam about a 1/2 inch seam all the way across. As you see, these are bigger, but we're gonna trim it after. Okay, so just make sure you find the middle, because you want that to be center with your piece, with your 11. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and sew that. So after you sew it, you're gonna fold this down, and you're gonna leave that little lip there. It depends how big you want. You can leave a big one or a short one. You decide how big you want it. Then you're gonna press it, because again, we're gonna trim all this around, so I wouldn't worry too much about it if it's slightly longer. So decide how big you want that, and then what you're gonna do, iron it and do a top stitch right across to secure it. Okay, so and then we're gonna put it here for now, and then let's start working on this part here that we have here. Okay, that covers the slots. So I have my pieces here. Let's see. Okay, and my two zippers. I'm gonna start with my middle fabric, and I'm gonna bring my side of my middle fabric. I'm gonna put them together here. So what I have here is 6 inches. So I'm gonna measure 6 inches from here to here, and I'm gonna draw a line. Let's see. So 6 inches is what I have there. And make sure it's straight, and I'm gonna draw a line. Okay, from that 6 inches down, we're gonna draw 1 inch. Okay, all right, then we're gonna got our other two pieces that we have here from our outside fabric. And remember, they have been interfaced with SF 101, and we also gonna mark 1 inch down, and this is to where we have to stop to sew the zipper. So 1 inch down from the top. All right, So now we have our 3 pieces, and as if you see, if I put them like this, side by side, so that first line, if you see, follows exactly my fabric there, and my second line follows exactly that bottom all the way across. All right, so now we're gonna get our zipper, and what we're gonna do is you're gonna put your zipper down, and you can put it right to the top, but you don't really have to. And what I want you to do, I'm using zippers by the yard, okay, but it would be the same thing if you're using the other ones. Let me just grab one and just explain if you use the other one that already has the stoppers. Okay, so if you were using something like this, that would be an 8-inch zippers and already has the stoppers like this. So what you would do, okay, we can actually start with the middle part first. What would you do is you put your zipper, that part to the top, you would put it here to the first line, and you see I want to miss that part there, so I would go here and mark it, and I would sew my zipper as regular from there all the way to there. All right, and stop there right on that dot of 1 inch. All right, does that understand? So you would need 2 of these, and you would do the same thing on this side. So you would do, this one would be there on that one, and that one would be there. Okay, and stop right at that one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach this. Of course, I'm not gonna do this one. I was just showing you because you have to start from the top, how you would use this one, because I'm using the ones that are, you know, the ones that have by the yard. So I'm just showing you what you can do if you want to use that. So I'm gonna attach mine. I want my zipper to go up that way, so I'm just gonna, this one is gonna go here. Can really take that off, and that's gonna go there, and I also gonna take that off. I'll put it on later. And so again, I'm gonna be marking, this is where I have that 1 inch down. I'm gonna mark that there and mark that there. I'm gonna take this to the sewing machine, and I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna touch them like that. So if you were doing this one, would be the same thing. You would do one there, you would sew it down, and you would always stop there. All right, I'll be right back. So I attach my 2 zippers like that. And if you're using this one here, you would open your zipper all the way to the bottom and leave it open while you work on this side. In my case, what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna do this also. And if you want, of course. And now I'm gonna get my lining. Okay, so I have my lining piece here. Okay, and remember that I said I was gonna touch a pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the pocket to the size that I want. I don't want it to go all the way to the top, so I'm gonna bring it down slightly. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more. I would say about 3 inches. If you want to add the pocket, you don't have to. 3 inches, about 3 inches down from the top. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. All right, so this is my lining now. So we can secure this in place for now. I'm just gonna put a pin here to have this in place here so it doesn't move while I attach to this part here. So after you have this done here, what I want you to do is put your lining on top. Okay, you're gonna fold it, okay, like that, And I'm gonna round it up a little bit. And where's my scissors? So I'm gonna round this part here, just the tips. Okay, I want them to be all together. You can always grab some kind of plate or a little roll of thread or something to roll it up to fix it slightly better. I'm actually gonna do, this mine is not exactly straight, I'm gonna just fix it up a little bit. Okay, much better. All right, and then I can go ahead. So remember when we saw her zipper to her main fabric, and I told you the first marking that we have 1 inch down? So that is for us to fold our zipper like that. You see that? We fold the zipper like this. This is why we need to open that zipper. And then we put the lining on top. Okay, so we need that little piece to be out like that. And then we can finish close it. So we need to do that to both sides. Okay? So that's my 1 inch. I'm going to put a little pin here to hold it in place. So I have my zippers in there and that there. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this all the way around like that. So I have my 2 tips here to the side. I will now turn it to the other side. Need to trim a little bit of this here. Very good. And also we can trim these pieces here. And this is here. Okay. So now we can turn this to the other side. Just, I had a couple pins in here, so I need to remove those first. Okay, and this will be looking like this. Then you can go ahead and do a top stitch around. Alright, so now we need to attach the sides. And again, our zipper, okay, has to be right on that line also. Okay, in this case here, you know where your line was here. If you see your line here, see it there, that's still there. So we're going to aim that line to that. And we're going to bring that zipper to there. We're going to mark on top of the zipper where we need to stop. And the same thing to this side. So we have that one there. And again, I need to make sure that my lines match. We can do a marking there and put a pin. This is where we need to sew. Okay, so we need to stop, we need to go ahead, sew that zipper, stop at that line. Same thing here, sew this zipper and stop at that line. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, this is where we end up with. Alright, so as you see, when I fold this one back, it should match this one here. And the same here. Fold it, and it's there. Okay, so now we're going to attach the lining to this. Same thing. We're going to go here, and then here, remember last time I forgot to mention, we have to go here. And what I'm going to do, I'm already going to mark here where I stopped sewing. So I need to go here and I'm gonna fold my zipper out like that and put that on top. Okay, and I'm put a pin here. Okay, if you have a zipper, keep it open, probably will be easier. And we're gonna sew that down. All right, the same thing to this side. The lining, and the other lining goes on this side. Okay, and go ahead and put your lining around the zipper, and then I'll be right back. Okay, you go ahead and turn these to the right side. Then my lines, you see that, are still there, and that I have more or less the same size, should be about the same size. Mine look okay. If you see one is slightly bigger than the other, you can turn it back to this side and sew a little bit more in. Okay, so make sure it's the same size as that one there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my zipper pulls that I have here. I'm gonna press all of it, and I'm gonna top stitch all the way around here, all the way around here, and all the way around here, and trim my zippers, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did all my top stitch, and this is what I end up with. So now we need to put all these parts together. Okay, so we're gonna go here, put our lining to the back, center this part, and find the middle. Okay, so this is my middle here that's creased. I know you can't see it, but it's right here. Right there is my middle. All right, so I'm gonna find my pocket. I need to find the middle. So what I'm gonna go here is, you see where I have my seam here? I don't know, let's see if you see. There's a seam here. So I'm gonna go through that seam, and I'm gonna make sure I match the other seam, and I'm right on it. So, and this would be my middle. Then I'm just gonna double check the bottom also, make sure I'm even. And I'm gonna adjust a little bit, and this is it. Yeah, I'm good. So, and this will also be my middle. All right, it's my middle. Can't move that pin from there. One I meant to move was that one. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here, and I need this to pretty much cover. I need to find the middle of this one here also. Put the zippers together. Okay. Middle here. And middle here. And I need this to be just slightly over from there. You see that? Okay, I want to just poking the fabric that we had here folded. I don't know if you can see it. I just want that poking through like that. And what I have here, my middle with my middle, middle and middle. So I'm centering that, and I'm gonna pin these together just like that, because that's how I want it. Okay, so now I can go ahead and trim this across, because I don't need this extra stuff anymore. Okay, so again, I still need to find out my middle here, because I took the pin off. This is my middle. And I still have my pin here in the middle here. So now I'm going to bring this to the bottom here. And I need to be this slightly off, about 1 inch from there. I think that's good. Let me have a look. 1 inch, about an inch from my sewing line. And it looks pretty straight. And I'm gonna go ahead and pin this in place. Okay, just in my outside fabric, all right? As you see now, I can go ahead and trim this to that size. All right? You can use scissors. I'm using my cutters, but you can use scissors. Just be careful you don't cut your main fabric. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and do a seam all the way around to secure this in place. Okay, now we need to work on this back pocket. Okay, so I had the pieces here for the back pocket, and this is a simple pocket. We've done this in other videos. So zipper down, lining down, and sew across, turn it, top stitch. Get your 3-inch the way I told you how to do it, the fold and a half and a half and a half, and you're also gonna go here so that you don't want that to go too close to the zipper, so you want to just around there. You're gonna pin it, just leave enough for the zipper to go freely. So just make sure it doesn't go too close to the teeth of the zipper, because the zipper has to open and close. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and sew that. Okay, after you've done that, we're gonna go ahead, even this out here with our bag, and sew this here to our only the outside fabric. Make sure you move your lining out of the way. Okay, so and then we're gonna sew that there. And if you're using a regular zipper, okay, make sure you move it inside so you can sew it secure it all the way around so it stays in place. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I secure all this part here. I attach my pocket here and secure that around. And now what I need to do is, remember the piece that I told you, 7 by 7 to sew around, flip it to the right side and do a top stitch. We're gonna find the middle of our bag and the middle of our piece, and we're gonna touch it there just to your outside fabric. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and sew. Let's see if you can see better. So we're gonna sew. You see where you see your seam allowance here? What I suggest to be a little bit straighter is cross a line from that seam allowance to that seam allowance. Okay, you're gonna go ahead, sew that across, down this way and that way, and then crisscross, and then you're ready to attach your snaps. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and attach that snaps right now if you want to. I'm gonna do mine all in the end because I can access it through my lining. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew that and attach my snaps. So I sew mine, as you see, and I also attach my snaps. It's better to attach all your hardware now before you close the bag, because it will be more difficult after. I use this tool here. It's from Babyville, and the snaps that I'm using here, it's like just these little snaps like that. So this one's what I'm using here. So now what we're gonna do, this is done, and we're gonna go ahead. I also attach already one snap there and one there. I didn't have another orange one, so I end up adding a white one. So, and like that. Of course, I'm gonna do my little tag made by hand or original, like I did, or one of a kind, just like this one. And I'm gonna attach here on top of my snap. For now, this area is done, so all we have to do is close the bag. And to close the bag, it's really like, I also attach, as you see, a small little pocket here, but you can attach more pockets, up to you. And size, can do bigger, smaller, that's really optional. So we're gonna do just like we do a makeup bag. We're gonna go ahead and match, see those two little pieces there. And we're going to be using about 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we're going to sew this all the way around. The only area we're going to leave an opening is somewhere here in the bottom, so we can turn it inside out. Okay, again, this side you're going to match your piece here. Let's see if I can show you. So we're gonna match that like that. And then separate just like that. We have enough space because we left 1 inch from the zipper, with the zipper tabs. So you're gonna go ahead and sew this around, and I'll show you before I turn it to the right side. Okay, so I sew all the way around, left an opening here. I want to eliminate a little bit of the bulk, especially here where all these like really thick corners are. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim a little bit closer to my seam allowance. You can use pinking shears, but this has a lot of layers, so the scissors, pinking shears also will kind of struggle a little bit. So you need a heavy duty scissors. Forgot to mention you have to leave your zipper open. Hopefully by now you know that we need to leave our zippers open, otherwise we can't turn our bag inside out. So I'm looking for my zipper. And that's the little bag. So now that I have these, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. If you're just sewing them, so you're going to go into the sewing machine and sew this like that, tipped over to this side with the D-ring that way. I'm going to just do rivets, but you can definitely go ahead and sew that there. And this one here on this side, do the opposite. Same thing. Just measure from your seam allowance how many inches you want in, and then you're going to go ahead and add them like that. So they're both facing out. Alright? And you can go ahead, put that in a sewing machine and secure it in place like this. There and there, just 2 seams. Alright? And then that end up like that. Then your strap, goes like that. And of course you can use this crisscross. I'm gonna put my little tags on and a little bit of a couple of these to put them there. Maybe I can find some with butterflies to hang them there. And our little bag is done. I hope you enjoyed this project. We'll see you next Saturday, and happy sewing, everyone.